Saw Tom Brady last night, talked to him for a little bit. He retires this morning. Coincidence? Let's dig in. And Dion and Sean Payton, a huge win for Colorado sports fans this morning. And more importantly, Mountain Time. The Mountain Time Zone, which is the least regarded and respected time zone of them all. In true Tom Brady fashion, let's go!
Good morning, guys. I'll get to the point right away. I'm retiring for good. I know the process was a pretty big deal last time, so when I woke up this morning, I figured I'd just press record and let you guys know first. So I won't be long-winded. I think you only get one super emotional retirement essay, and I used mine up last year. So really thank you guys so much, to every single one of you, for supporting me, my family, my friends, my teammates, my competitors. I could go on forever. There's too many. Thank you guys for allowing me to live my absolute dream. I wouldn't change a thing. Love you all.
We appreciate Tom Brady so much. I do. I will be sad to not watch him play. My entire adult life, my entire NFL life is Tom Brady. And I'm at this weird age where these guys like the Phillip Rivers and the Ben Roethlisberger and, you know, Eli Mannings and Peyton Mannings, the guys that I got into the game watching, are going away at a pretty rapid clip. And then there was this thing in Tom Brady that was still sticking around, and he's still there. And he doesn't go into parts unknown, never to be heard of, a la Phillip Rivers or any of these other guys. A huge piece, no matter who you are, no matter who you root for, if you hated him, if you loved you, if he caused you pain. He caused people, God, he caused so much pain and inflicted so much damage to fans over the years. You can't not have a giant appreciation for Tom. He is the greatest. He is the greatest. Do we understand that? I think we do. I think we all collectively, and I'm seeing it all over Twitter this morning, all over all of the shows, everywhere, a lot of reverence, which is necessary and so well-deserved for Tom Brady. Now, that said, and I appreciate even more the self-awareness from Tom there, saying, I did this last year. All this does is create questions for me, and probably for you, and let me know how you feel. You know, the first question after watching this declaration of retirement, take two, is, will he stay retired? It's where my head goes. I hate that it's true, but it's true. Today, the story is not some, and I'm seeing it places, and go do what you want. It is not some giant retrospective. It is not Mariano waving or Eli, the retirement tour, getting handed framed photos of things. It is not that. It should be, but it's not. And that is just what happens when someone retires for the second time. The question, it's just this, and there's a lot of questions, but the main one is, will he remain retired? After a down season, in all of ways, personal, whatever, or a season of adversity, now, this soon, I don't think so. I'm actually not falling for it. Fool me once, Mr. GOAT, Mr. Rings on Rings on Rings, fool me once, Mr. That moment with Jim Gray on Let's Go, an excellent program, that was like 5 seconds ago when he is snippy and doesn't say, he says, I don't know what I want you to figure out. Now he's done. Now he's, I love you, everyone I faced. I love you, everyone that I've ever been in contact with in the NFL. He went from that Jim Gray soundbite to this resolute goodbye. Come on. Am I the only one not buying this? And am I to blame for not buying this? He can be retired today, and maybe we should take it and celebrate that as such. But this will not stop teams from calling. Teams will call. And he's saying he's done. GMs will only love him even more. We don't know anything about what any of the NFL teams are going to look like when anything is said and done, August, July, September. Will he be able to stay away? Does he have that in him is the prevailing question. Will he be at Fox next year? Does anybody actually see that happening? Maybe. Am I 100% convinced? No. What do you guys think? The message coming this morning, and it's so crazy, it's great promotion for the movie, 80 for Brady. They're at the premiere last night in LA, so fun. Listen, I met Sally Field, couldn't have been nicer, an absolute legend, a GOAT in her own right. And I gotta say, I think if she was thinking about retiring, we had built enough rapport last night that she would tell me. We both wore velvet, we chopped it up. She would disclose that information. Then I run into Tom Brady, who I know and love and appreciate. Tom, you couldn't tell me this last night. We talked about Gronk, or blah, 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 a little chit chat. I'm standing there, you ask how I'm doing. We had a story. You could have let Up and Adams break this thing wide open. I just want to say, if there's a sequel and there's like a 90 for Brady situation in a couple of years and you decide to unretire and then retire a third time, and that is where the smart money is, they don't know what the FanDuel Sportsbook odds are this morning, this has to go differently. Come to mama. You got to help me out here. But if it is true, and it is the end, and at least it's the end for now. It's the end today. Congratulations to you, Tom, because that could not have been easy to do. Gronk comes on our show every week. We couldn't get him today. We'll get him tomorrow, hopefully. Oh, he is coming on tomorrow. Great, he's coming on tomorrow. And he said it so simply. Football makes him happy. Will being around football on Fox in a booth, will that make him as happy? Coaching in his future, is he done? Like, the concept of retirement has dynamically changed. Oh, it's just not a thing. Nobody should say they're retiring. They should just say there's no finality to it anymore. It's not an absolute concept anymore. Look at Gronk himself. Comes back, leaves, but just say you're not playing this year. Look at Sean Payton. Yeah. Did Sean Payton not retire?
I guess not.
Didn't he say, I'm stepping away, I'm whatever, like, and it was basically taken as a retirement? Nope. Now he's getting dealt to Denver, and we'll get into that. You know, there's a lot ahead for Tom Brady, and I can't wait to see what you do. If you're listening, if you're out there watching, whoever's watching this, and honestly, I'll have to say this, and we'll get into it. After watching this 80 for Brady thing, I'm convinced he could be an actor. I really am. There's one scene in this movie where I said, oh, okay. Stephen A. Smith, you think that roll is brick on General Hospital is safe? Not so fast after you see Tom Brady with Lily Tomlin in this thing. I don't know if Brad Pitt gets another role in this town with that chiseled cheek maniac Tom Brady taking over. I don't know. Go see 80 for Brady, especially the last scene. And we'll dig into more of that later, but we've got this Sean Payton situation to get to. Here's what we know. The Saints reportedly get this, the Broncos' 2023 first-round pick, number 29 overall, and a 2024 second-round pick for Payton, and the Saints' 2024 third-round selection. Mark Ingram will be here in a bit to go over this, but what I know about Sean Payton is that he's been killing it on Fox on Sundays, enjoying that very much, enjoying life, and always looking for the right spot. He was taking a little siesta, a little rest, and here is what he told us in fall about how he was feeling about not coaching and what it would take to get him back somewhere.
When you prep all week and you win a game, there's nothing like it. Like that is like a drug. Mm-hmm. And so it's that addiction to that feeling of winning.
Okay, so he has an addiction. We get that. Now, I asked him what his priorities are when he's looking for his next job, and this was surprising. Again, this was back in fall, but a priority was not a quarterback. Here's what it is.
So that has to be addressed, yes, but what I'm talking about is beyond that. What I'm talking about is the ownership group, the front office group. Is that all in concert? Because in some places it's not. And when it's not, I don't care who the quarterback is. Like, in other words, then you don't have a good job.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then despite how good your game plan is, despite the talent you bring into the building, if those things aren't all on the same page, then you have dysfunction.
He doesn't want dysfunction. He wants the right situation. He's the belle of the ball, isn't he? So I look at this from Sean's side, the coach's side. There's a lot of ifs here. And with what he's saying there, I don't think his mentality or his philosophy of what he believes as a functional, successful situation for a head coach has changed in the last couple of months. He must really believe in George Patton. He must really believe in Kelly Klein. Shout out to her on National Girl and Women in Sports Day. Ownership is important as well. If the ifs here are, can you trust ownership? If you're talking about, you got the Irsay family and the Colts up, you're looking at a job in Arizona, the Bidwells have been in charge generations. So there's at least some consistency. This is a new ownership group. I imagine if I was a coaching candidate, that would be a little bit scary. Also, though, if you're Sean, a bit of an opportunity to go in there and say, I know how this should be done. I know what's going on here. And it could be seen as an advantage, which I very much agree that he would see it as. So then you're looking at the other what-ifs here, the other things that might look at Denver and not say this is the most attractive job, because we've been mulling this over for weeks. I mean, Broncos fans, I love you. I'm so happy you have an answer here. and I think you should be excited about this. But you guys have been waiting to find out what was going to happen. The AFC West, if you're a coach, like it's not so fun, right? You got to contend with Herbert. You got to look at Mahomes. It's a tough division. And then there's the real thing, the thing that Sean was saying that is not the most important, and that's that Russell Wilson is there, and he is about the biggest question mark in an unprecedented project. I mean, if you really think about it, that's what he is. He's coming off a career worst year. We don't know what it is. This was a team that was projected to be top 5 on both sides of the ball. It couldn't happen. And I'll say this. I was just bragging or name-dropping Tom Brady. I recently ran into Russell Wilson and had a little chat with him. And this is a person who very much, I could tell, dying to get back to greatness. Did I see a Lombardi trophy on his phone? Sure, I might have, and that's where he wants to be. Did I see that and hear him speaking about football like it's his passion? Absolutely, and he needs the coach. And he needs a motivated coach that's a winning and proven commodity, and that's what he has. So Broncos fans, I'm hearing these like weird rumors that the Broncos wanted DeMeco Ryans over Payton. I have no information on that, but that is like the best thing to tell Sean Payton. With what I know about coach, great. You tell him that there was another candidate that they might have wanted over him. That is perfect. This is a coach who's beloved by his players. He is brash. He's winning culture. He's a complete character. And now you have Russell Wilson, who is, pious and who is quiet and who wants to do the right thing. They're so different, much more different, I think, than a Drew Brees and Sean Payton situation. And Sean Payton got the best out of Drew Brees. He also got the best out of Teddy Bridgewater when he was out there. When Drew Brees was hurt, Taysom Hill went 3-1 when he was out there. That's what Sean Payton can do. Sean Payton with Jameis Winston got, reps with him. There were some injuries and other adversity to face, but right when Jameis was turning a corner, and you could really tell in his play that he was more in control of what he was doing. And that's a testament to Sean Payton and his ability to develop a quarterback. He got injured and was knocked out. So if I'm a Broncos fan, I am so freaking excited about this. You got yourself a home run. This was the belle of the ball, and he will turn things around immediately. I can only imagine, and I don't know what the Fox obligations here are for Mr. Payton, but he is probably running to Denver to try to fill out his coaching staff, bring guys along, make it happen. I'm sure he was chomping at the bit that this decision and all these trade picks and all this stuff has to happen. And I know Broncos fans are thinking, man, we are giving up a lot in a trade, and we have this stupid price tag over this quarterback, and it might have been the worst trade in NFL history. There is no better coach. There is no better person who I know inherently wants to say F you to everyone that might doubt him, and has had a year now to stew, remove himself. He's going to get back in there, and he's going to see all those dead last statistics, the career worst for Russell Wilson, all of that, reinvigorate it, set a winning culture, set some sort of consistency, and get it done. I'm super excited about this, and I think it'll actually be a bit of a match made in heaven. Different like dipping French fries into the Frosty at Wendy's, but it tastes good. So you might not think it'll work, but I actually have a feeling that it'll be okay. So I think they can return to a winning team. He'll bring guys with him, and I can't wait. I can't wait to ask Mark Ingram about this. I asked Mark Ingram, what do you think about Sean Payton to Denver? We were both like, I don't really see it, but if there's anybody to get Russell Wilson back on trend, it's him. Hey, are you in Denver yet? Are you Latavius Murray gonna join Javonte Williams? What's the story?
Yeah. I'm ready for war. I'm destined for greatness. That's word to Muhammad Ali. I'm up on the scene. I told you I'm up on the scene. Yeah. I'm ready for war. I'm ready for war tonight. I'm ready. The side of the score. The side of the score tonight.
We use these like free tracks that we have like a library of music. That's got to be my favorite one, Marissa's from. I'm ready for war. I'm ready for war tonight. What is it called? Do we know? I don't know. Just some random library check. Mark, I love your intro music.
Hey, y'all snap with the music video and the intro song. I look forward to that every week.
We look forward to talking to you. And we got a lot to talk to you about. This is great. Lots of headlines here.
We got a big news day, Kay. Perfect to have you boy on this
What do you want to start with?
Hey, listen, you the boss. You the head woman in charge. So I'm just following your lead. You tell me where we at.
Let's start with the GOAT. We deserve to give the greatest some love here. I personally am like, I don't believe you. I don't believe in retiring. You're probably going to retire, then you'll come back. I'll see you 2 years later. So I'm like, I don't believe any of y'all anymore when it comes to retiring. But what do you want to say? You've battled Tom Brady over the years. What do you got today? Retired at the age of 45.
Listen, when I tell you I'm retiring, it's gonna be the one. So you know what I mean. You ain't got to worry about me with the fake retirements. But speaking of the GOAT himself, man, what a legendary, the greatest career ever. Much respect to him. The battles that I've been in with him with the NFC South, seeing him win championships with the Patriots, saw him win one with the Bucks. I mean, he has more Super Bowls. He has more Lombardi trophies than any one franchise does. That in itself tells you he's the greatest ever to play the game. You talk about letting your accolades speak for you. You talk about letting your championships speak for you. I mean, he has done absolutely that. And anyone who is a fan of this game, anyone who loves this game has to admire him, appreciate him, and respect him, and wish him the best in his future because he truly is a legend.
What was it like being on the other side of the field?
You know you had to put him down because if you gave him any life at all, he was going to come back and, bring that team back to victory or give him a good chance to come back for victory. So you always know when you play Tom Brady that you had to be on your P's and you had to be on your Q's. You had to be dotting your I's, crossing your T's, making sure that you did everything possible to make sure you buried that team. Because if you gave them any sort of life, Tom Brady at the end of the game was going to do Tom Brady-esque type things. And, what he is a winner. What he is a winner. So much respect to Tom Brady and much hope, love, and blessings for his future endeavors, whatever that may be.
I don't know what it'll be. He's got a new movie out. He's acting. He's producing. He's got his partnership with Michael Strahan. Lots of things that he could do. He's got the Fox deal too. He could be in the booth next year. Only time will tell. I guess we'll never know. You know who has Tom's number is Sean Payton. So tell me, in those battles, those wins for the Saints, what would Sean say about Tom Brady in preparation for those games that worked so well?
And we knew what he was. We knew he was a guy that was a good leader, a fierce competitor. We knew that he had the ability to beat you. You know what I mean? So when we went out there, it was just be doing what we do. Make sure that we took advantage of our game plan and knowing what we had going on. Not being too worried about Tom Brady. We knew we had a defense. We knew we had the corners. We knew we had the defense to frustrate him and get him angry. If you hit him, kind of get him off his rhythm, kind of get it in his receiver's face, kind of, take his tight ends away, get pressure on him. He kind of gets frustrated a little bit. So it was more about what we would do as opposed to, focusing on Tom and the Bucks. But we always had much respect and love for him because of just who he is and what he's done throughout his entire career. And that's been a winner. So you can't sugarcoat that. You can't take that away from him. He's always been a winner every step of the way, every single place he's been. So we had to just do what we needed to do, focus on our game plan, and hopefully that would be enough.
And it was pretty much every time. That's one thing. I can't believe he's retiring because I don't get why now? Why now?
Who knows, Kay? That's a personal decision that you have to wake up with every single day. The grind, the training, the physical, emotional stress that you go through in a season, even preparing for a season. He's done it for 22 years? What is it? That's something that you have to, wake up and look yourself in the mirror. Do you have the desire? Do you have the passion? Do you have the ability? Do you have the wherewithal to go through preparing for a season and competing in another season? And when you've done it 22 times, you won more Lombardi trophies than any other team has in the NFL. You have that you could decide for yourself when you don't want to retire.
Yeah, it's so true. You know who else fake retired and lied about it and now it's coming back? Is your old head coach who lands with the Broncos, which nobody saw coming, and now he's got Russell Wilson. So how does he fix Russell Wilson knowing what you know about your coach?
Man, Sean is Sean Payton, and if there's one guy, like I said, if there's one guy who can fix Russell Wilson's woes or whatever everyone wants to call him, his worst season statistically ever, it is Sean Payton. I mean, look at Drew Brees when he came to the Saints in 2006. He was a castaway. Everyone was writing him off for dead. His shoulder was bummed. And look how that turned out. You know what I mean? you seen the Jameis, you've seen Taysom, you've seen several other quarterbacks that he's kind of took under his wing and just made them successful, made them confident in their abilities, and went out there and made winners out of them. So when you got Russell Wilson, a guy who has been one of the better quarterbacks in his early years, winning a couple Super Bowls, taking the Seahawks to back to prominence, you think that Sean will be able to see that potential and see that experience as a positive, and that he can do something positive with it. So I think that Russell and Sean, I think that they'll have a good little partnership going. I think Sean has something in mind, and obviously he feels like he can be successful with it because he did take the Denver job. So obviously he sees that as something that could be an asset to him.
Yeah, how do you think those two will vibe together? Because I'm looking at it like a movie. Like, you should sell the screenplay to Netflix, because they could not be more different, these two. You got Sean, who's rolling in cases of cash money, and then you've got Russell Wilson, who's just the complete opposite of that.
For one thing, Sean's going to change that entire culture. The against each other, the not supporting each other, the going and speaking behind this person's back or the quarterback's back. He's going to wipe all that in the butt, man. Like, he's gonna make sure that the team is on one string, one accord, and he's gonna change that culture. And I think him and Russell will do a great job together. I think Sean is a player's coach. I think Russell has played for players' coaches like Pete Carroll. He's known as a player's coach.
Yeah.
So obviously they're different in their own type of way, their styles and their approach. But I think that it's gonna be good for Russell. Sean is a player's coach. He's going to know Russell's strengths. He's going to speak to Russell about things that he likes, and he's obviously going to incorporate those things within Sean's system, which he runs, which he knows through and through, being an offensive genius. And they have weapons all over, the receivers, Javonte Williams. I know Latavius was toting the rock for him last year. They have a great defense. Yeah, Tay Train, toting that rock, toting that tater, holding it down for the OG RBs. You know what it is. But no, obviously he sees something in Russell. He sees something in that situation in Denver where he can go in and make a culture change and be able to be something positive for those guys. So, their defense was playing top of the line last year. They just couldn't score too many points. So once you get that offense rolling, you got Jerry Jeudy, you got Cortland Sutton, you got Javonte Williams coming back. So you got playmakers all on the offense. So now it's just about getting Russell, getting his confidence back, seeing what he thrives doing, and incorporating it in Sean's systems. You
and T-Train, a lot of fun at the Saints together, both free agents.
Hey, you know me. Cool. Hey, you can pick me up and drop me wherever you want. I'm going to tote that rock. You know what I mean? I'm going to tote that rock. I'm going to tote that tater. I'm going to bring the JU Ice all day long. So no matter where it's at, I'm going to bring it.
That would be pretty lethal backfield with the three of you and Javonte back there. Quickly, Bama. Got to give Bama love. Texans. They hire Niners DC. What an amazing decision here. Former franchise icon and fellow Alabama alum DeMeco Ryans. Your thoughts about him as a head coach?
First and foremost, roll tide, baby. We all over the place. My dog DeMeco getting his shot, man, which is truly deserved. He's done his thing with the San Fran defense over the past few years. He was a G. He was a boss out there being a linebacker for the Texans, for the Crimson Tide over his career. So what better choice for the Texans to bring one of their own, like you said, one of their franchise icons back to be a head coach of the Houston Texans. I mean, I think this is a win-win. It's a win for DeMeco. It's a win for the Texans. And I'm excited to see what he's going to do down there in the H, because the H deserves good football. The H deserves a good football coach, and it deserves a good football team. So I'm rooting for DeMeco and the Texans with this hire here.
And you know him, you know Alabama, you know the Texans. You had a short stint with them recently in 2021, so you know that those fans definitely deserve something. They do have the 2nd and the 12th overall pick, 5 picks in the top 75, and they've got $40 million in cap space, those Texans. So that's a pretty nice spot for DeMeco Ryans, all right, to be in. Maybe you should have sent him a little text, like, congrats.
Hey, when we played in San Fran, I said, hey, man, wherever you go, don't forget your boy. You know what I mean? So it's already in his ear.
It's super fun because he's in this line of guys like the Mike Vrabels and the Ron Riveras, the Doug Petersons, the Frank Reichs. Like, it's a little different when it's a former player out there, right? That's coaching. It's just a little different.
Yeah, I mean, those guys in his locker room should love him because he was one of them. So he knows what it is to go out there, the vigors of, like I was talking about, preparing for a game, preparing for a season, going into a game, being able to go out there and play to your best of your ability and play to your strengths. He was that. He is that. And you can see what he did with San Fran and that defense over the past few years. So I'm sure those guys are excited down there. And I know he's going to do a great job, man. DeMeco is a great player, great person, and he's been a great coach. So I'm glad that he gets his shot in a place that's familiar, a place where he started his NFL career. And, man, I'm rooting for him. Roll Tide, brother. All day, baby. So rooting for Houston Texans and DeMeco Ryans in this hire, man. I hope it all goes very well for them. They got great. They got, like you said, they got 2 picks in the first round. You get one of these young quarterbacks to come in, and you know, it's on the rise for the Texans.
Yeah, you want Bryce Young to hand you that ball next year, Mark?
Hey, man, if I had to suit up with one of them young boys, man, Bryce is the man. You know what I mean? Bryce is the man. I wouldn't mind taking handoffs from him. I wouldn't mind taking handoffs from Stroud. You know what I mean? So you got 2 young guys coming in that's some young beasts, some young gunners, man. So whoever's they choose, who wouldn't want to, play with those young ballers, man? Who wouldn't?
It's true. I would too. And then, of course, Tom Brady will unretire, so you might have an option there as well. I'm going to give myself a red card because we don't have time. But we always have breaking news when you come on.
Wow.
And you're always the perfect person to talk to. Hey, am I going to see you next week in Arizona?
Yeah, we trying to work on that Thursday, right? Media Row, me, you, Cam J.
Me, you, Cam J, and maybe Sean Payton. We're trying, but who knows? You know how
too?
Sean is. We'll see. Sean's, he's saying I'm going to Denver. I got to figure stuff out. But I have a feeling, a sponsorship deal might land from Arizona.
I know he loves you, though.
Yeah.
So I know if there's anybody that he'll
loves
come
you
on
too.
to Media Row for, it'll be you guys. All-star lineup, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I need to do like a group text. You, me, Cam. I'll put us all on it, and we'll just be like, you got to come. You got to come hang out with us. I'm going to have like a tequila bar, a ping pong table.
Hey, the silent ping pong table, I seen the text. Like, is there something like that?
I don't know. So I sent out a tweet. I want to get a ping pong table to Radio Row. Now everyone's going to hear me, and that's not good. But I feel like it's got to be a little low key, and that's loud, right?
Oh, that's big vibes. Also, we need the Wendy's fries with the Frosties too. I heard you talking about that too.
Wendy's fries, we're on it. Wendy's fries, Frosties, we got a tequila bar, we got ping pong, we got it all going down. We will see you next week.
I might not even leave.
Most importantly, these are coming with me, and Sean Payton better be coming to hang out with us in Arizona. We'll be back after this last to get to right here on Up and Adams. All right, it is time to hit the lights. We like to talk about players who deserve a little extra shine for some performances on or off the field. Yeah, we got to give it up to Chiefs receiver Marquez Valdez-Scantling. This AFC Championship win over my loser Bengals, who are in Cabo. That's the new thing. They're flying to Cabo, everybody in the NFL. The Chiefs, man, they were down 4 receivers out of 5. The run game could not get anything going. Bengals defense, credit to them and DJ Reader there. Kelsey, he was getting doubled. All that was going on. They were needing somebody to step up, and MVS on the biggest stage rose to the occasion. One of the best performances of his entire career, hauling in 6 for 119 and a touchdown. Don't forget, this is his first year as a Chief. This is his 3rd taste, though, of conference championship action. 2019 with Green Bay, he played in the Raheem Mostert game. Remember, the Niners ran all over the Packers. Then in 2020 against Tampa Bay, equally impressive performance. Like, something happens to him in the playoffs. He had over 100 yards and a touchdown, and that also ended in heartbreak as Brady and the Bucs captured the Lombardi. So it was very cool to not only see him break through and earn a Super Bowl trip finally, but to do it in such spectacular fashion. He could not be stopped. He was the go-to guy for Mahomes, who's limping out there. And we all just got to soak this in for him. We like good vibes here on the show. We like pointing out good things people are doing. And it is so hard to get here. Look at the moment it all sunk in for him in this tweet, too. Look at this. He says, serious question, can I watch Rihanna perform at halftime? I love this. Couldn't love this more. It's a question I have. Are the players in the Super Bowl the only people on the entire planet that don't watch the halftime show ever? Like, do they go back and watch Snoop? Do they go back and watch Lady Gaga and Rihanna? We should ask Gronk that tomorrow. Rob Gronkowski on the show. But all feels and all happiness for Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And I cannot wait to see. Listen, he does a little something in these big games, and we'll see what he has next Sunday. I literally cannot believe the Super Bowl is next week in Arizona. We're headed there. We'll be there all week. Up next, more on 80 for Brady. Brady, Sean Payton, and Sam Rapoport joining the show. Tom Brady, what do you do with your hands at a movie premiere? It's a great question, Tommy baby, looking good. All right, welcome to, is this the worst ever weekend update, SNL? No, it's not. It's Kay Adams here with Marissa McBride, our intrepid producer here on Up and Adams, and we somehow weaseled our way onto the red carpet at the 80 for Brady premiere here in LA. What do you do with your hands? I don't know. I didn't know.
I think we should show the B-roll of Kay posing like a supermodel.
So
the behind the back.
So I don't even know how this footage happens. Look, you put your hands in your pockets.
Well, you had pockets. What if you don't have pockets?
Yeah, well, Tom Brady, that's your fault. You should pay your stylist a little more to sew something in. This is me. There he is. Look at that beautiful man. He's a Barbie. He's so handsome. It's crazy.
He was honestly stunning.
He spent a lot of time walking and talking with media.
Yeah.
A lot of time. I got to say hi. I was just like sort of standing next to him. He seemed real calm, like almost too calm. It's very awkward. Everyone's looking at you, what you're saying, but he was super calm. Jim Gray was there.
Yep.
And here's, I mean, the baddest lady
The gals
walking.
just loved him. I mean, they were swooning. How could you not swoon?
Look at Sally Field. I wore velvet and she wore velvet and I felt so cool instantly. These are four badass actresses in their own right. Legends. Jane Fonda, Rita Moreno. Oh my God, unbelievable performances by Sally Field in this one. I called her a legend. I was so fangirl.
What did she say?
I don't even know. I was like holding my breath. But the movie review, and the red carpet was all fine. The movie was great. Everyone needs to go see 80 for Brady. Not only because it's a beautiful story about four strong-willed, incredible women in a friendship, and the thing that bonds them together the most is their love for New England and Tom Brady. It's sort of fitting today with this retirement thing.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, it couldn't have been planned any better. I cannot believe that happened. I can't believe we saw him yesterday, saw the end of the movie.
Yeah.
No spoilers here. And then he retires a mere 6 hours later because we got home so late.
Is it great promotion for the movie, or did he really retire?
I don't know.
I don't know either. He didn't give
know.
me retirement vibes last night. I'll be curious to pick apart all of the sound bites from
Him on the carpet, that was too good. That was too natural.
Yeah.
I don't know. He really leaned into it.
Yeah. In
He's
the
all over
movie,
media.
I would say the other really cool part, and there's some cameos. Gronk, as
Good
you guys
cameos.
know. Gronk and Jane Fonda. Listen, we love
There was some chemistry.
We love a Camille Kostick here, but watch out, Camille. We are warning you as two women who love you. Like no, they were incredible. There were some cameos from some Patriot players, some other very fun like New England characters.
Yeah.
But the coolest part is that you forget 28-3.
Yes.
Because so much has happened since then, and they take the best angles, the best footage. You could tell the NFL probably had some great synergy with them in giving the footage and the logos, all of that. So it was a very positive experience. I mean, if you're Matt Ryan, don't watch this movie.
That was a jump scare beyond belief. I mean, how do you feel if you're him?
If you're anybody
Any Falcon.
You got, and then you got Jane Fonda getting you got. Sally Field from Mrs. Doubtfire is clowning on Matt Ryan in this movie, not directly but indirectly, and they show Matt the nerve to show Matt Ryan in this. But you see Julian Edelman's catch, and you see Julio's catch, and you just remember this is the best of the best. Like it does not get better than this. He could have walked off after that and retired into the sunset, and it would have been fine.
He had many chances to do that. Many chances.
So are you believing he's retired or not?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't see someone as great as Tom Brady going out like this. I think he tried to do it last year, and that would have been great.
Yeah.
He got spoiled.
Yeah.
I just don't see him doing this.
Yeah.
I think he's got one more left in him. I think he's going to ride out on the sunset just like Peyton did. I think he deserves that.
You want him to come back and lose to the Eagles again. That's what I already know. That's what this Eagles fly here wants.
We already did it once.
It was a lot of fun. I don't know how we weaseled it. I would not have gone if it wasn't for this one over here, who somehow was my publicist for the evening. It was very fun and a great time. See the movie. I think it's out now.
Yes.
I want to know everybody's thoughts. Everybody's thoughts, especially on the last scene. See if you feel my vibe with what I've been saying today once you watch that. So that was great. Four incredible leading ladies in this movie.
Good.
And we have to talk about the specialness of today. It is National Girls and Women in Football Day. And we are all about celebrating that. It is, on our show, I can say, very normal to have women in leading roles. That's Marissa McBride right there, of course, our associate producer. That was Amy Howe. Can we go again? Wow, that was Amy Howe, our CEO. The CEO of FanDuel is about the most badass woman. That's Haley Heckman and Haley Hoff, who work the early hours. That's Michelle.
Michelle!
Of course, we love her, Michelle Bryant. She is our editor. You saw Amy Howe up there, Sarushi White, our director, who I'm half afraid of and half just reverence of all the time because she's so brilliant. And I always, I never want to disappoint her by having my foot up like this. But from Up and Adams and FanDuel, give a little love to the women who are working in sports. It is not easy, and we will have Sam Rapoport joining us after this. That's fun last night. We got lots of women to celebrate today, girls as well. Happy National Girls and Women in Sports Day. No one better to have on. I'm so excited about our next guest right now. She's currently the NFL's Senior Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. She has been part of the NFL family, y'all, since as far as I can remember, definitely since I've worked for the NFL back in 2013, 2003, but when I started watching the NFL, she won a Commissioner Award for her work. And I can say that, which is, not a small deal to win a Commissioner's Award. She's a former quarterback as well for the Montreal Blitz and a trailblazer. And I'm a little nervous and excited. I have Sam Rapoport on the show. Sam, how are you?
Good, Kay. I'm so excited to be here.
Tell me about, are you excited about Super Bowl? What are you working on right now? You're the senior, let me get that right, Senior Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. That can't be a small task.
Yeah, it's not. And I've been working for the league for 21 years, and Super Bowl never gets old, so I'm incredibly excited for the game. But yeah, under Jonathan Bean, who is our Chief Diversity Officer, we're really working right now to operationalize diversity, equity, and inclusion across the entire league, all our clubs, our league offices. We really want it woven through absolutely everything that we're doing in the league office, and that comes straight down from Commissioner Goodell.
And how have you seen inclusivity? Like, we talked last year. I know, Jane worked on a brilliant documentary, and I've talked to a lot of the owners. There's more and more female owners. We want to get into that. More and more women taking those big roles on and sort of shaping the league. And it sort of has to start at the top. That's my opinion. How have you seen that inclusivity sort of grow over the years, and how much more work do we have to do?
Yeah, it's been expedited substantially in the last 6 years. If you look at the NFL 6 years ago to where we are today, we have 3 female presidents now. At the beginning of training camp this season, we had 15 women working in coaching positions. We have 5 female officials right now. So if you look at where we were before, which was a lot of zeros across the board, to now where we're working closer to normalization and ubiquity of women in these roles, it's remarkable to see. And I'm pumped to be along on the journey of it.
It's amazing, Sam, and I talk to you about this a lot, and I follow you on Twitter, and it's how I learn about a lot of the women that are doing incredible things and incredible work in the NFL. I always have a bit of a confusing moment about it because, of course, I want to celebrate women in these roles and in sports whenever I can because I know how hard it is in my little field, in my little corner as a woman. But I also hate talking about it. I hate pointing it out. I hate because I think it adds and perpetuates a storyline like, that's weird, she's a woman out there. And we're seeing it less and less. Like we have 4 women involved in the Super Bowl, more than that. I'm talking about, 2 on each side as far as coaching and those sort of personnel roles. And it's not the biggest story. And I love that. I'm so excited. So how do I balance or marry or reconcile this want for celebrating and need for celebrating it while also wanting to normalize the presence of us in the sports world?
Yeah, it's the $1 million question and something we've been working on since we started this program. But I think we've gotten to a good place with this. So what we're trying to do is recognize it, don't fixate on it. So recognize that, yes, it is a big deal that Autumn Lockwood is the first Black woman to coach in a Super Bowl. We mentioned it. Now let her do her damn job. And really, that's what we're trying to do. So it's important to recognize it because the more and more barriers we break down, the more normal it gets. So we don't want to ignore it. But then after that, and if you talk to any of the women in the league or any marginalized person in the league, they just want to do their damn job. So don't add spotlights to them or rocks to their backpack or whatever analogy you want to use. Just let them succeed. And really, that's what's going on in the league. And I credit a lot of clubs for putting women in a position to succeed in that realm.
We love seeing it. I was just even saying Kelly Klein, like Sean Payton's making this decision, like this big coaching candidate to go to Denver where there's newer ownership. That can be scary. Like, what's that going to look like? But you have George Patton there, but you also have Kelly Klein, who's his right-hand person there making these decisions. And that seems normalized to me in a way that I'm really proud to be a part of and proud to work and cover an organization that treats it that way. Now, you mentioned Autumn Lockwood, but as we're just going to give love and move on, like you said. We're not going to add to it, but let's give some love to some of these women that are going to be on the sidelines and heavily involved in the Super Bowl 57 between the Eagles and the Chiefs. You mentioned Autumn, but there's also Amina, there's Tiffany Moore, and there's Julie Freimeyer. What do we need to know about these women?
Oh, they're all badasses and just like taking names in the NFL. But Julie Freimeyer, interestingly, you know, Patrick Mahomes recently tweeted about her that she was the reason that he was able to play last weekend. So, you know, these women are absolutely incredible. One thing I love about it is that I think there are 19 women on the football side that will be working Super Bowl this year with the Eagles and the Chiefs. And so I can't even name them all, right? So we used to be able to say, hey, it was Autumn, it's Amina, it's Julie, but it's Tiffany, but really now there are 19. I can't name them all. But there are so many women that are involved in moving this game forward. And because it's not a huge story right now, which I'm super happy about, that's the progress right there.
It's forward progress, which you preach. Whenever I see or hear the words forward progress, I think Sam Rapoport and all the brilliant work that you and everyone are doing there over at the NFL. Now, you were instrumental. I think it's fair to say you created the NFL Women's Careers in Football Forum back in 2017. How has it evolved? I know a little bit about how the idea was born, but how has it grown over the years? The list of coaches that are taking their time has made such an impact, Sam. It's really inspiring.
It's incredible. You know, when we started the program, there was one GM, one head coach, and one owner who raised their hand to be a part of it. And at the last forum, which was the 6th annual NFL Women's Forum, I had head coaches and GMs texting me during the opening session saying, don't let anyone get her. I'm bringing her into training camp. And, you know, they were getting competitive with each other. They were naming their friends saying, don't let him get her. I want to hire her. And they were hiring women on the spot. And so really what we've done is we've taken it from an idea into something that's molded into NFL culture now, where our progressive coaches, our amazing head coaches and general managers are saying, if you're not part of this, you are behind the 8 ball. And that's been said by Commissioner Goodell and several other people, that that's the tone of the league. If you're not trying to achieve gender equity from a numbers standpoint, but also from an inclusion standpoint and equity, you're behind the 8 ball. And clubs are recognizing that and really stepping up and making progress.
If somebody wants to get involved or want to attend the NFL Women's Forum, or somebody who's just thinking, man, I really hate my job, I've always wanted to work in football, and I'm seeing it's a possibility for me now, how can we help make that happen?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that you need to do really is get involved in football in some way if you're not already. I always say volunteer for your high school team, or go out to a semi-pro tackle league and volunteer to coach or what have you. We are working on live streaming parts of the NFL Women's Forum that are not confidential this year. So I'll be posting that on my Twitter. So if anyone wants to follow with our open sessions, we'd love to have you. And if you'll be at the Combine, hit me up and we'd love to have you in our guest section.
Oh my God. You're the best. You're just the absolute best. What's coming up? League agenda? Anything going on? You know, I know obviously we're celebrating girls and women today, but I know inclusivity is not just women. So I know at the Super Bowl there's lots of events going on. I have a partnership with Smirnoff Vodka, and I was just with them in Dallas, and they were talking about how they've sponsored an event around inclusivity, and it made me all the more proud to be partnered with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's apropos that we're talking on the first day of Black History Month, right, where we celebrate our Black and African-American trailblazers in this game, which is really the reason why we are successful. So there is a lot of celebration and discussions around Black History Month right now at the league. And, you know, we're also working on our accelerator program, which is led by Belinda Gardner and Vanessa Hutchinson. And they're really trying to put our top talent, our senior talent, in positions to meet with our head coaches, our owners, to potentially get jobs and network. And Rand Carthon was a participant in that program, and he recently preached about how that helped him get to where he is, and super proud of what they're doing. And overall, the way that we're trying to weave DEI in absolutely everything we do is something that I'm incredibly proud of.
It'll happen because of you, Sam. So we appreciate you. We celebrate you. We're not going to talk about it too much because everybody knows you're doing your thing. So hopefully, I really hope I get to run into you at Super Bowl. And I was talking, like, I have an associate producer. We have a very small team over here with my new little startup venture. But Marissa McBride, my director, our amazing editor. We've got so many women on this staff. And I feel like I can be doing more, and I want to do more. So hopefully you and I can talk and make that happen. I would really love that.
Let's do it. Let's flip some tables together, Kay. You're on.
All right, let's do it. Okay, I'll see you next week. Enjoy it. Hell of a year for the NFL and for everything. Sam Rapoport, you're an absolute badass. And we will talk to you down the line. All right, that's it. That was amazing. Absolutely amazing. What a day. So much news, so much to get to. Could not be more grateful to end it, though. If you have to understand, she is such a badass. Yeah. I'm just going to start a women's forum, and then Bill Belichick is like, okay, I'll join. Bill Belichick isn't going to join anything. Can you imagine? Mm-hmm. And she did that, and she's awesome. Oh, you're wearing your Women in Sports Social Club. Yeah. Oh, we didn't even get to show her this. This is, she was just tweeting about these. Our whole staff's all about it. Celebrate 80 for Brady. Go see it, and we will see you. By the way, if you're at Super Bowl and you want to play ping pong against me, come join. Stop by our show, because it's happening officially. Will it turn into beer pong? Who can say? Is Brady retired? We don't know. Speaking of beer pong, Gronkowski's on our show tomorrow. We will see you guys then. All right, that's it. I got nothing else to give.